Hey everybody, this is Dana Roselli here. Today I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about diminished 7 arpeggios, which are one of my favorite things to use. If you don't know anything about diminished 7 arpeggios, they consist of intervals of minor thirds, which is quite convenient on guitar neck because minor thirds are just 3 half steps away, you know. So you can move each pattern up, 3 half steps. And let me show you real quick, just kind of, I'll play something really quickly. Alright, and basically I'm just using the same pattern. I'm just going up, 3 frets at a time. So those are 5-string sweep arpeggios that require some economy picking involved in there too. So we'll start slow and we'll build up to there over a couple lessons. So where I was starting at is I was starting on, well, let me start by saying I'm in drop D tuning, so it's D, A, D, G, B, E. I'm starting on the 8th fret of the high E string, and I'm hammering on to the 5th fret. And then I'm raking up on the 7th fret of the B string to the 8th fret on the G string. And then I just basically go back down. So I'm hitting 4 notes going up, descending, and then 3 notes ascending. Then if we move that pattern up 3 frets, then we get this. Same finger position, it's just up 3 frets. Then up 3 more frets. 3 more frets. And this is really good for a 3-string pattern because you can ascend and descend on the fretboard very quickly, such as this. So one thing to be keep in mind for when you're doing this is on whenever I'm sweeping on like 3 strings, if you watch my picking hand, I'm kind of rocking it back and forth, opposed to if I'm playing longer 4, 5, 6 string sweep arpeggios. My hand is basically kind of more kind of having a pushing and pulling effect. So when you're practicing these, it's best to do one position at a time. And then work your way up to doing it to 2 positions. And then, work your way up to 3, 4, 5, however many you want to go up on the scale with. And my favorite application to use diminished arpeggios over is not, well, I mean, obviously a diminished chord, but it also works very well in the mode of Phrygian Dominant, which that specific one can be considered, that we were just playing right there, can be considered either C diminished 7 arpeggio, an A diminished 7 arpeggio, an F sharp, or an E flat diminished 7 arpeggio, because there really is, in any diminished 7 arpeggio, there is no real root. And if you use them over diminished chords, then that any one of those frets that you're hitting, right? Because basically when you go up, now you're just at E flat, C, A, and F sharp. So you just basically just different inversions when you're going up the neck or down the neck. But a half step up from any one of those notes you can change keys to, and it sounds very, very good. So let me just show you, like, that's key to unlocking some doors if you're trying to find new ways to change keys. I'll just play a diminished 7 arpeggio real quick. Let's say I'll start right here, and then we'll go to the key of E minor. And so just so you know that it can go to basically any half step above, we'll go a little bit farther up, and then we'll go to G minor. Alright, so that's another cool thing that you can use with diminished arpeggios, and there's a lot more, but we're just kind of trying to keep it a little bit straightforward here. I hope I'm not losing too many people here. So Also when you're practicing this stuff, it's really good if those diminished 7 arpeggios specifically, E flat, A, C, or F sharp, work very well over the Phrygian Dominant scale, which in this case would be D. So a half step, if you look at E flat as your diminished chord, I kind of usually look at that whole thing, is a half step above your root note in a Phrygian Dominant setting would be an optimal arpeggio to play over chord progression in Phrygian Dominant. And you'll know the scale degrees of Phrygian Dominant. We'll go over that real quick right now. So this is going to be D Phrygian Dominant on D on the 5th fret on the 5th string. Right here. That's going to be your root note. Then you're going to have a flat 9 or flat 2nd. This is E flat right here. And then you're going to have a natural 3rd, F sharp on the 4th fret of the 4th string. You have G on the 5th fret of the 4th string. You have A on the 7th fret of the 4th string. B flat on the 8th fret of the 4th string. C on the 5th fret of the 3rd string. And then finally back to our root note D on the 7th fret of the 3rd string. So it gets a real cool exotic Egyptian kind of sound that, bands like Testament, Exodus, Megadeth, a lot of those guys, used to use in their writing and solos, specifically Testament. But, so I'll play the scale for you up and down so you can kind of get a feeling of what it sounds like. See how that diminished arpeggio that I just did at the very last second there really fits with that scale. And the reason for that is because if you build the scale up and you take out your root note and then you take out your perfect 4th right there, and then you take out the flat 6th, then you're left with these notes. Just basically one big long diminished arpeggio. I'll get into how to apply that stuff a little bit more in the next lesson, but the point of this whole one was to just basically teach you how to play that diminished 7 arpeggio and get you familiar with the notes of Phrygian Dominant if you haven't played that scale before. And next lesson that I go over with, I'll show you how to apply diminished chords in a Phrygian Dominant setting over some chords that aren't specifically diminished. Like in Phrygian Dominant, you can play it over major chords, you can play it over minor chords, and it sounds really killer. So I hope that helps a little bit, and I will see you guys later.